Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and today let's go shopping at the Dollar Tree. We are in the Dollar Tree looking for yarn art stuff. Look at these. Stinging cute. $1.25. So now I need to decide which ones I want to review for the channel. They have yarn knitting spools, knitting needles, which are super new here. They have so much new stuff. This is the store that is considered, let me widescreen you, that is considered the Crafters, what is it, Crafter Square store. So, oh look, they have these too. I don't know how to do any of that, and I'm not willing to learn. They have little yarn balls. I looked for these for months and could not find them. Glue sticks. What's down here? Craft box. Anyway, so they are considered a Crafter Square store, so it's like they have their own craft store inside the Dollar Tree, and most of the stuff is still $1.25. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna say hi, RJ. We're just gonna peruse. There's also stuff on this side if you're interested in any of this stuff, but that's not my cup of tea. And then this is the yarn behind the boxes. This is where I got some of my chenilles the other day. So down there they have green, let me zoom in. They have mint, that's chocolate brown, that's a skin tone, that's black fur, that's the medley I was looking for. They have baby pink chenille, hunter green, they have red chenille, more mint. So they have, this is called the Teddy, not to be confused with plush, and then the chenille, and then they have the just yarn. So this is one of my local Dollar Trees. This is not the one closest to my house, but it's the one with the biggest craft section in the area. Alright, so as you saw in that video, they have new kits at the Dollar Tree, and in case you guys don't know, if you're unfamiliar, I do in fact do a little bit of wool felting on the side. Now, I wanted to open these and go over them. They were $1.25, and like I said, I have made cute little critters. There's a cow. There's a little sheep. I have made cute critters with, I also have a chicken over there somewhere. I think she fell down because her nest is there, but the chicken is not. So I have experience with this. I wanted to open these kits up and take a look at what is inside and give a thorough review, because they also had amigurumi kits at the Dollar Tree at one time, and they were garbage. They were bad. They were so bad. The instructions were so minimal. Myself, as an experienced crocheter, could not follow the instructions. They were just really poorly written, and that's what I worry about with these $1.25 felting kits. Felting is not easy, but it's not super difficult. If you can take a flat object and figure out how to make it into a 3D object and make it look somewhat good, felting would be easy too. If you have any experience with, like, say, sculpting or, you know, carving or anything like that, if you can take something that doesn't look like a 3D object and turn it into something that looks like a 3D object, you can do this. And even if you can't and you don't have experience with those things, you can still felt things that are not 3D. There's ways to felt on flat objects to make pictures and designs and pretty little artworks that way. So I don't want to discourage anyone from felting, because if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I'm not good at sculpting. I do have experience with sculpting, but I'm not good at it. All the dogs are at the door trying to get in. But, I mean, I'm going to have to go let them in when we go to the table. So I wanted to put the camera down on the table, and I wanted to open... Actually, I think we're going to only open the elephant. This one looks like it's a little more detailed than the elephant, and so we're going to go with the easier of these two. I'm going to give you a review. I'm going to tell you what I think of these $1.25 kits, and we're going to go from there. Alright, so like I said, these were $1.25 in the Dollar Tree. The dollar and up tree now, as we like to call it. I think I said in the video that the specific store I went to is known for their Crafter Square department. And if you go on DollarTree.com, it will list what each store has. So there's like, it will give you, if you go to locations on the Dollar Tree websites, I'll pretend this is the website, it will have the location, and then underneath will be all these little descriptions of what the store might have. Does it have a freezer department? Because not all of them have a freezer department. Does it have craft with a Crafter Square section? Does it have, you know, Dollar Tree Plus, etc., etc.? So this store specifically lists that it has a Crafter Square store inside of it, which is just a really big aisle, which you already saw. So you might think I'm going to be easy on this kit because it's only $1.25, and like that's a really good deal for felting kits. But I'm still going to hold this to the same standard as if I paid $20 for this kit, okay? I'm still going to do that, because just because it's $1.25 does not mean they should just throw garbage into a plastic bag and charge you $1.25, okay? I do take into considerations it's only $1.25, but I'm not going to let things slide. And as you can see, there's some shedding of the wool that's inside. Okay, now, for starters... the wool is actually pretty soft and decent quality. I wish it was separated a little bit more, but that's alright. We can separate it. Now, even though this wool is soft, it has these little pieces have very short staple lengths. I mean, it's not terribly short, but it clearly looks like it has been cut. This one specifically looks like they just took some real nice wool and just cut it, instead of... wool is very easy to pull apart. All you gotta do is do that and it pulls... I don't know why they had to cut it. I don't like that it's cut, but that's just me nitpicking. And the black thing here also looks like... because there's very straight edges, and that's not typical for wool. Wool don't have straight edges. So some of these pieces are a little tiny. They was cut. I don't know why they did that. And as you can see, the black is shedding everywhere because the fibers are so tiny from it being cut. So that is something we're going to have to look out for. They did give us a block. Now, this block is useful because this is so you don't stab your finger or the table underneath, okay? They gave us a needle. We'll examine that better in a minute. And then they gave us 2 plastic eyeballs. These are not safety eyeballs. They're literally pegs. They're little pegs. There's no way to clip anything onto them. Just so you can stab it in the elephant's face. Okay? Now, let me put the eyeballs down there. This feels very lightweight and cheap. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see, but there we go. See along there? See the little bumps along? These needles are not supposed to be smooth. They're supposed to have bumps and ridges and cutouts. Depending on the quality of the needle, to when you're going in the yarn, to kind of like, it's like you're teasing your hair. Like if you were in the 80s, you were teasing your hair and you're ratting it back and forth. That's why they don't want the needle to be smooth. This one's actually, I can feel little tiny bumps in it, but overall it's pretty smooth. And I know this is dangerous. Don't do this. It's not that sharp. So, these are things to take into consideration. Now, these are the directions. These are all of the directions. I will read as follow. For those of you who can't see this or can't read yourself, which no judgment on that, okay? Take a little amount of wool felt, Place it on top of the foam pad and make the shape of the animal by using the needle to stab it to make a shape. The more you stab, the tighter the fiber will lock. The firmer the felt will become. The body, face, and tail also can be made separately. They can be assembled later. On the animal body, step 1. Add animal textures. Hair, wool for decoration. Repeat the action of stabbing tightly with the needle until completely form like photo on the packaging. So while this is a kit, this is not a beginner friendly kit. You have to kind of know what you're doing and kind of have to understand how to form the animal. Okay. Lastly, insert the plastic eyes into the wool to create the anima eyes. Follow the steps above and the vivid and cute wool felt animals will come alive before your eyes. Disclaimer, they don't actually come to life. They don't walk around the house, okay? So, the shape of the elephant is pretty basic, which is why I grabbed this one. Now, I'm going to tell you that when you're going to work with something and that's a pretty good amount of wool felting, okay? It has a nice long staple length, which makes me question whether this is actually wool or if it's another product, because there's not many wools that are this long in a fiber. Like, the fiber itself is very, very long. Well, maybe. That's about 2.5 inches. So, it could actually be wool, but again, they cut it. Irritates me a little bit. You don't gotta cut it. Literally, if you just take it, you go, there you go, you have some. Alright, now, I do have a felting kit. I have several felting kits from Amazon. And again, there's no directions with those. It's literally the felting, the needles, and whatever else. I will link the felting kit I have below. The difference is they don't give you this little tiny square block. They give you something bigger, because unless this elephant is going to fit on here and be that little tiny bit, this is not actually going to work that great for me, because I like to have a big flat pad. Now, you could also go over to the $1.25 craft section. My brain's going faster than my mouth can keep up. And get some felt pads. And you could use those underneath your work. But if you stab too much, this felt will attach to the felt underneath and it will just permanently be attached. So keep that in mind when you do that. I'm going to grab some different needles, because I don't, you know, we're just going to try it with this. I am, however, going to grab a different foam block. Alright. So this is my foam block that I have. This has been thoroughly used. And the center is starting to break down, but you guys can't actually see that. I'm going to use everything else with the exception of the foam block, which the foam block is the same thickness as the one I got from the Better Kit. I just prefer to have a bigger surface. Yeah, both sides are broke down because it's been stabby so many times. Alright, now, to make said elephant, this is not a tutorial. You kind of want to shape it so that it looks like that shape, okay? So I just took half of the felt and I'm just rolling it up on itself, okay? This is going to be the body of said elefante. Elefante! And if you want this to work up faster, you actually can just like nat it up so that the fibers are not all in the same direction. This is me, this is what I do, okay? Because it tangles up better when you pre-tangle it. And I let Bentley out so he'd go eat, and now he's back at the door being a butt. Alright, now, I'm just going to ball it up. You can be rough with this. It don't matter. Because you're basically going to tangle it up. And when you lay it on here, you just stabby, 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 stabby. And the one thing I wish that this had was some sort of finger protectors in it, because I've stabbed my fingers. And I do have leather finger protectors. But see how when you stabby, it kind of wants to stay in that shape. That's all felting is. So while this is a decent kit for $1.25, it's a cheap, it is an affordable, people get mad when I say the word cheap, I don't know why. It is an affordable way to get supplies for something if you want to try a new craft. You're not going to actually learn from this kit. You're just going to get supplies for $1.25, okay? Which, I don't see anything wrong with that. This needle's actually halfway decent. I can't guarantee it's not going to break on me because it does feel very cheap aluminum. And the whole premise of felting is to just stabby to knot this up, to make all of the fibers stick to themselves. That's the whole premise of this. And you got stabby in all directions. Ooh, I got my finger. Good thing that's not a real sharp needle, huh? This is for those of you who want to try something new. You ain't got a lot of money. You can't buy like a $30 kit from Amazon. This, however, this process takes a very long time, especially if you're only working with one needle. Now I'm going to tell you, and my daughter, her name is Juju, she is getting ready to turn 20 years old on the 23rd. She is not a yarn crafter. She's not interested in it. She can both knit and crochet. She has basic skills in both. She just does not like it. It's not her jam, and that's okay. Because I don't like beading. She loves beading. She likes stabby, otherwise known as felting. And so I actually gave a lot of my supplies to her because she likes it. She likes it more when she's angry because stabby is good to get rid of your aggressions when you're feeling some kind of way. If you're having a bad day, like she works in customer service at the mall. She deals with a lot of jerkwads. Every single day she comes home with a story about some lady that came in there all entitled, thinking that she's going to make the rules and that my daughter has to follow them. And so my daughter comes home with some aggression from work. Because, you know, people think the world owes them something. And if you're one of those people that go in the store and you act like somebody owes you something or you demand, yeah, you're a bad person. I'm just going to say that. And if you've ever gone into a store and you said, well, I spend a lot of money in here, I demand, you're a bad person. Because that person don't make the rules. Corporate makes the rules. You got a problem, go to corporate. The cashier can't change the price for you. They can't change the sale for you. They can't give you a coupon that you don't have on you. Well, I mean, sometimes they can do the coupon thing, but they're more apt to do it if you're nice to them, not if you're being a jerk and throwing stuff. And good Lord, the stories I could tell you. So anyway, this can be very therapeutic to people who have, you know, stuff you're dealing with. You just want to stab something repeatedly. That's why we call it stabby. As you can see, it's already compressed a lot. It's still on the soft side though. It's still got a long ways to go, but you can kind of see it's taking shape of an elephant. See? Now, to get the legs, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just stabby up the center. We're going to compress that a whole lot so that we can make legs. And I really do recommend finger guards with this because you are going to slip and stab yourself. Especially when you're new. And you saw me, I already stabbed myself. Because I didn't get my finger guards out. Alright, see, that's how I'm forming the legs. I ain't doing nothing special. I ain't adding no legs to it. This is decent wool for the Dollar Tree. I will tell you though, you can get felting wool at a lot of stores. And because you don't know what you're looking for, you probably don't even see it. Michael's has it. Pretty sure Hobby Lobby has it. What does their face look like? We're gonna do the trunk separately. We're gonna make a place for the trunk to go. Yeah, that looks like it'll be the head, right? Oh yeah, Hobby Lobby does have this. It's down, it's across from the yarn. Well, at least in my store, it's across from the yarn. And who else? Let's see, Michael's, Hobby Lobby has it. I'm trying to think of where else I've seen wool fiber. I mean, of course, Amazon's where I get mine, because there's a much bigger selection on Amazon. This is nowhere near complete. This will keep on shrinking and shrinking the more you stabby because you're compressing all of the fibers. And that part is way too soft. It's also got a nice little ASMR if you can hear that. The legs feel pretty good. Still think it has a ways to go, but the more you compress this, the more you stabby it, the better it will hold up. I've been to quite a few events and stores where a fiber artist features felting stuff, and boy, if you try to touch their felted object, they're gonna throw a fit. Don't touch it! And I'm like, mine have been tossed all around and they're still completely intact. And this is actually not, it's not felted properly because I wanted it to look like wool still. And I'm like, what? Because these parts can come off. They can. So they tell you don't. They will freak out if you try to touch those at an event or like a fiber festival or a store. They will flip out on you. Don't touch their fiber stuff. But I think this is fun. I think it's soothing. And I actually haven't done this in a while, even though I have the supplies. Just because I've been busy doing, you know, all the other stuff. I also haven't spun any yarn in a while. But after I spun the buffalo, I needed a break from spinning. I'm going to be real honest. That buffalo took me out. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you're new here, I made buffalo. So I took buffalo fluff and I turned it into yarn by spinning it. And it was such a process. It was not entirely pleasant. Kind of turned me off from spinning for a little bit. I just needed a big old break from it. As you can see, that's not perfect. It's not. And this guy's more rounded on the top, so we're going to try to fix that. You just keep pushing on it where you want it to go in at. Just keep stabby. And like I said, I have better needles. I have much better needles. And I also have a handle that holds like 10 needles so that this would go much faster. All of those are available on Amazon. But I'm not going for perfection. I'm just not. Alright, we're going to call that an elephant body, right? But see how smooth this looks? It would take me a really, really long time, like hours and hours to get it to look that smooth. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just not doing that. That's good enough, right? Now we want to make the little trunk. Where's Poncho's whining? To make the trunk, I'm just gonna little bit of hay in there. Ponyo! And then once again. Oh, all right, thanks. Yes. Trying to figure, I'm triple folding that on itself, so it'll be a nice, and this is going to take a while. I'm not going to make you watch it, but so you just stabby, and you attach the trunk, because this is going to shrink down a lot. And to attach one thing to the other, you just stabby like this. And that's how you attach it. Which I shouldn't have did yet, but that's alright. It ain't going to make a difference. If you hear Ponyo whining, it's because she wants to go in her mommy's bedroom, and her mommy is upstairs doing Lord knows what. Sleeping in or playing Fortnite, who knows. She's got to work today, so I don't blame her for staying locked in her room, because she's got to prepare herself to go to work. And like I said a little bit ago, she deals with a lot of crappy people. So I'm going to tell you for $1.25, the directions suck. The directions suck. I'm not going to pretend the directions don't suck. They tell you nothing of how to make that elephant. Except to do stabby, okay? So for that, not a beginner-friendly kit. But the wool is good. The needle is okay. It's not perfection. I have much better needles than this, but it's pretty good. And they give you everything you need to make the elephant. And the black in here, what is the black even for? Unless you want to do felt eyes instead of the plastic eyes, which I'm going to be honest, I would rather do felt eyes because I feel like those are going to pop out. It's just this girl's opinion. So, I think this is a really good value. My Dollar Tree, and I know a lot of you are going to say, my Dollar Tree don't have that. I have like 15 Dollar Trees by my house. I'm not even joking when I say that. There are so many Dollar Trees by my house. I could walk down the street and hit a Dollar Tree, and then walk another 2 miles and hit another Dollar Tree. There are a lot of Dollar Trees in the Fredericksburg city limits. And the outer lying areas, because I don't actually live in the city of Fredericksburg. But there's a lot of Dollar Trees in this area. And I had to go to the one that specifically said it was a craft store to A, find the yarn that I needed, and B, find these kits. Because I didn't even know these kits existed. Did not know they existed. I gotta be real careful right here. This part is janky. And I think it's a really good value for $1.25 if you already know how to do this, or if you think you can figure it out, which I encourage you. It's only $1.25. You want to try it, go buy a kit. There are tutorials. There are tutorials on YouTube on how to do this kind of stuff. You might not find one specifically how to make an elephant, but when I made that lamb, the sheep that I made, and the cow, I didn't watch a tutorial on, oh, that looks kind of cute. I didn't watch a tutorial on how to make a lamb and a cow. I watched a tutorial on how to felt. And I called it a day and I figured out the rest. Because, I mean, it's art, right? So this is just a fiber art. And I want his trunk to go up. So we're going to, okay, his trunk looks kind of inappropriate right now. But we gotta smooth out that tip a little bit. That looks inappropriate. Elefante. Put that away. Nobody needs to see that. This is really cute. Alright, so his elephant little thing got a little crick in it, but I don't care. See, right there, it looks like it's got a crick. See, I told you I wasn't going to make you watch me make this whole thing, but here we are. I'm making you watch me make the whole thing. You ever talk and feel like you're speaking a different language? I had to really think about what I was saying there because I'm like, that didn't sound like it made sense. And I'm just compressing this because I want his trunk to stay standing up. I want it to be extra firm. And especially because it's going to hold. That's cute. And like I said, I'm not aiming for perfection. And I'm not aiming for the smoothness that they show on there. Look at that. That's an elephant, right? It's not a perfect elephant. He's a little woolly, so he's probably a little woolly mammoth. I wonder how closely related woolly mammoths are to elephants, genetically speaking. I'm sure one of you have the answer out there. Because, I mean, they look alike. Are they really just elephants that were adapted to the northern areas, which is why they're woolly? And if there was a really bad cold front in Africa, would the African elephants get a woolly coat? It's things to think about. There are things that I ponder while I'm stabby. Now this is not an official tutorial because I don't feel like I'm experienced enough to give advice on this, but there are, yeah, his trunk is pretty firm. Alright, that's cute. Alright, now we can put the gray away. My finger does in fact hurt where I stabbed it. Now, we need to make 2 hearts, one big and one small. And once again, I'm going to fluff this up and rough it up. It's a pretty good little kit for $1.25. I am very pleased with it. Now to make a heart, you kind of want to start with like a ball. And because this is the smaller of the hearts, you just want to get it in the middle to where it's kind of, you know, sticks to itself a little bit. And the shaping will come after you got the center ball like all knotted up. Aside from there not being any directions in this felting kit, which I'm going to be real honest, most felting kits don't actually have directions. I wish there was, but I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it 5 stars out of 5. I think it's a pretty good deal for $1.25. It is not beginner friendly, but that's alright. See how I'm just gathering the edges and like pushing them in? Ooh, Ponyo's driving me crazy. She's whining and whining and her mommy is not opening the door. I don't know how Juju can't hear that. I apologize if that's driving anybody else nuts if you can hear her whining. She's also very, very needy. Like, I can't even go in the bathroom without her doing that. So Juju might even be in the bathroom. I'll be honest. The pink looks dingy now because it picked up some of the black. You see the difference in color? It also picked up some of the gray. Just trying to make a flat circle. And then we can start forming it into a heart. And see how it already kind of has like a boop on this side? So in order to make the heart, we're just going to go with whatever is already there. We're going to make it easier on us. Going to go down the center. We need to round out this side a little bit. Without stabbing ourselves. So don't sleep on the Dollar Tree, guys. I try to show you guys a lot of options on this channel of where you can find craft supplies, because I know a lot of you are on a budget. A lot of you can't afford some of the craft supplies. And I get that. Every time I show some yarn, somebody's like, oh, I can't afford that right now. That's why I give you options. That's why we do so many different types of content on this channel. That's why I'm like, hey, Look at these cool thrift stores that carry just craft supplies, the Creative Reuse stores. You can also find felting stuff at Creative Reuse stores, just so you know. If you have one near you, and there's a bunch across the whole country, we have a bunch. I don't know about in other countries, but we definitely have them here in the United States. And that's why I constantly show stuff about the Dollar Tree on here, because Dollar Trees are everywhere, and I know not everybody has a Dollar Tree, okay? I understand that too, because I know I'm going to get that comment. I don't have a Dollar Tree near me. Well, that's because you live in the country, ma'am. Ow! See, that's why I need to wear my leather thingies, my finger condoms. I don't have them. I'm going to grab them, as a matter of fact, because that was a hard one. Hang on. They're right over here. I'll be right back. Because that hurt. Finger condoms for my fingers. Matter of fact, I will just bring my whole... Well, this is Juju's kit now, because I gave most of this to her. But see how I have other pieces of foam? This is a needle with a handle. This is lots of needles and a handle. I have lots and lots of finger condoms. I think the pink ones are the big ones, so I should probably put that one on. Because, yeah, I stabbed my finger real good, and I got to be careful because I am a diabetic. And I don't need no finger infections from this Dollar Tree kit. Alright. I also have needles galore. Alright. Set that back on the floor. These are available in kits, but you can also buy them online on Amazon. So that you don't stabby your finger like I just did over and over again. Why I didn't start off with them in the beginning, I don't know. Knowing darn well I'm a diabetic and I gotta be careful even when I do my finger pokes. But see, look at, I can stab my finger and it doesn't hurt because that leather don't let the needle get through. So don't skip out on your finger condoms, they're important. We gotta use protection when we can. Just like I was saying, Dollar Tree's got good stuff. Sometimes. Their amigurumi kits were utter garbage. They were terrible. They were so bad. But this felting kit's pretty good. I'm pleased with it. And like I told you in the beginning, I'm going to be hard on these. Just because it's $1.25 doesn't mean it should be like a crappy kit. That's a cute little heart, but it is absolutely discolored. Alright, I'm going to leave the bottom a little bit loose and not real tight so that I can connect it to the elephant. Alright, so they have it like that. See if I can figure out how to do both of these. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna be real honest though, it's really hard to feel, and those are slippery, so I'm gonna use my non-protected finger for a minute. Maybe, yeah. And just like that, it's attached. Perfect? No, absolutely not. A little discolored? Yeah, because I picked up some of that gray and that black yarn. That's my elephant with her holding a little heart. Alright, maybe we will finish it. I wasn't going to finish this on camera, but I mean, we're here, right? Make an elephant ear. I saw a video the other day, and I don't remember who I was watching. I think it was either... Sorry. Some number from Richmond. Somebody, it ain't even a number from Richmond. Somebody keeps calling my phone 800 times a day from a Richmond area code, and when I answer, there's nobody there. So somebody's playing on my phone and it's getting on my nerves real bad. So, make an elephant ear. Oh, like I was saying, I think it was freaking reviews, or it was somebody. Actually, I don't remember who it was. They were talking about elephant ears. Which means they had to have been a food channel. Maybe? No. I don't think it was... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I was watching. So I was watching something on the YouTubes. And I know that it was a man, because I distinctly remember. And he was talking about fried foods. And he mentioned... He had to have been somewhere in the Midwest area. Because I thought elephant ears were a Michigan thing. Now, you don't know what elephant ears are, you probably don't live in the Midwest. Okay? So the Midwest is a big old section of the country. I don't know why it's called the Midwest, because Michigan is considered the Midwest, and it's actually more on the East Coast than the West Coast, but I digress. Anyway, he was talking about elephant ears, and I've only ever seen elephant ears in Michigan. They're a big deal at state fairs, or at fairs in general. So what they are is a big piece of dough the size of an elephant ear. It covers a whole plate. It's just a big piece of dough that they fry. So I don't want to compare it to pizza dough because it's not as tough as pizza dough. Like, it's flaky and it pulls apart real easily. And they throw this big giant flat piece of dough. Maybe it did start as pizza dough because it's about the size of a pizza. And they throw it in the deep fryer and they deep fry it. Talking about unhealthy. And they cover it in cinnamon and sugar. And then sometimes they will top it with strawberry, not preserves, but like the stuff that they put on, what do they call that? Strawberry shortcake. The strawberry in the gel stuff. They do other fruits as well. Like, they do apple pie filling on top of it. Like, they put all kinds, like, oh my god. It's a diabetic's worst nightmare is what it is. Anyway, my family grew up, and every time we went, my mom and dad both had sweet tooth. They also were avid pot smokers, so, like, they always had the munchies. And they both liked sweets. Their favorite snack to eat after smoking was, Nutter Butters. My mom loved those dang things. So did my dad. Grody, grody, grody. No, Nutty Buddies. Nutty Buddies, not Nutter Butters. Nutty Buddies. Oh, I think they probably ate both. Anyway, elephant ears were a big deal at the state fair and stuff. And we didn't go to the state fair very often because we couldn't afford it. My mom hated it. And I remember when we did go, though, they always got an elephant ear, and we all had to share it because it was big enough to feed 8 people. But also, there was a store in Taylor, Michigan called Gibraltar Trade Center. There was also one in Mount Clemens, maybe? Anyway, they had, sometimes would have like the little fair food booths out in front. And they had elephant ears there too. And it's funny because these are foods that were readily available to me as a child growing up. Always was sick growing up, didn't know why, because literally everything in an elephant ear would try to kill me today. Actually, they tried to kill me back then too, but we didn't know that I had a gluten allergy growing up. I believe my mom probably did too, because she had a lot of the same symptoms as me. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her except to throw more and more drugs at her. Sometimes I wish I had been able to figure out the gluten thing earlier to try and just make her life a little bit easier. And I'm really grateful I was able to figure it out so that Juju didn't have to suffer for 40 years like I did, eating and being sick all the time. So the elephant ear is just an upside down heart. Although I don't actually have to make it a heart, I could just put the elephant ear on there. This is way too thick. I have to pound it down. Matter of fact, since we've already determined that that's an okay needle and that this is an okay kit, it'll make my life go a lot faster. It's available on Amazon. By the way, I will link all of this stuff if you're so inclined to buy any of this. If you want a felt. If not, you can just watch me craft and listen to me talk about weird random crap like elephant ears. My parents smoking weed. This makes it go so much faster. But for sure wear your finger condoms with this one, because you'll definitely get hurt with this. That's a lot of needles. How many's in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 8 needles in this one. See, I just stabbed myself, didn't feel it. It's much thinner. Now, see if we can shape it. Let's see. This part looks pointy, so we'll just leave that pointy. And we'll stab down the center here to give it a heart shaped. Just round out the edges a little bit. Ponyo, come see Grammy. Come on, baby, come see Grammy. That was a terrible whistle. There we go. I had to lick my lips. I couldn't get my whistler to whistle. Alright, I'm going to call that a heart. The only problem is like one side is fatter than the other. It should still attach though. Alright, upside down. I should have made this way thinner. Although if we stabby enough, it should just kind of melt into the gray. Which is exactly what's happening. You see how you're forcing the it's kind of like you're ratting it. You're forcing it. So you're taking and you're forcing the pink ones down into the gray ones, like you're gonna be together. Adhere, adhere. And no, that's not at all a perfect heart, but that's really cute. was a fun kit to do. What do you guys think? That's super cute. And you can always just keep going around and like just, you know, poking and poking to try to shape it a little more. What do you think? Does it look like the picture? Oh, we didn't do eyes yet. All right, now to do an eye, we stabby a hole. And we poke the eye in there. Now, how you get it to stay in there long term, I have no idea. Oh, that's kind of cute though. Can you tell that's an elephant? And then the other side, I should have probably made 2 ears, one for each side. We're gonna, it's an elephant on one side only, okay? We're gonna call it a day. Because if I'd have cut that in half, it would have made 2 ears, but I didn't think about the other side. But that's okay, because you know what we could also do? Is we could attach this to a colored background of just a piece of felt. You could put this like up against something. It still works out. The black and the gray are going to actually go back into my stuff. And the way that I store my needles is I poke them in so that I don't accidentally get stabbed reaching in. But look at what we did. That was fun. I enjoyed making that. And now we have, for when we feel like it, we could try to make the giraffe. The giraffe does look more difficult, more complicated. Because for this, you're going to have to absolutely probably make 4 legs. Although it looks like her legs are attached. So maybe that's just 2 legs. We could probably do it in one piece. But she looks way more difficult to do than the elephant, which is why we stuck with the elephant. They also had a third one, which I showed in the video. I don't remember what it was, but it's a really decent kit for $1.25 if you want to learn a new technique. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to kind of look like the picture, which I think we have succeeded. Look at that. Ow, that hurts. My finger condom cut off my finger. Alright guys, thank you for watching and listening to my opinions about the Dollar Tree felting kit. Check it out. Dollar Tree don't know who I am. I don't earn anything from this. I will link some of the other stuff from Amazon if you want to explore, like the bigger needle or the kit with the fluff, because I bought a kit that has like 40 different little colored things, so I can make all kinds of stuff if I wanted. But my favorite thing is this, because it just makes things a little bit easier. It really does. And with that, oh, and I will also try to link the finger condoms, although I'm just going to link a kit that has finger condoms in it because the finger condoms are very, very important. I'm going to be real honest with you. Don't go without them finger condoms, you know. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, look at, he's even about the same size. Look at that. Boop. I did a good job on that. Boop. So the picture is accurate. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, don't forget, check out Dollar Tree. Don't be sleeping on the Dollar Tree crafts. Tell me what your store has and doesn't have. I'd like to hear that. All right, bye, guys.